Does that look all right? I got, like my Zoom is across two windows. I don't know why.
Yeah, that looks good, Edie.
Okay.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the launch of TECHNOLOchicas 5.0. My name is Yvonne de la Peña, and I lead the TECHNOLOchicas initiative at the National Center for Women and Information Technology, NCWIT. I want to thank everybody in advance for your attendance and your patience should we encounter any technical difficulties. TECHNOLOchicas is a national initiative of NCWIT and Televisa Foundation. It is designed to highlight and celebrate the diverse stories of Latinas persevering and succeeding in technology. Intended as a strategy to address the challenge of helping young Latinas become more aware, more interested, and participate more in technology, TECHNOLOchicas brings positive Latina role models into Latinx homes, schools, and communities through media campaigns, events, and educational resources. Visibility is a key aspect of this initiative. A young Latina cannot be what she cannot see. And hence, TECHNOLOchicas utilizes a variety of platforms, such as social media campaigns, conference presentations, periodical publications, and videos in Spanish and English that serve as public service announcements to highlight and celebrate the stories of its TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors. Today, we are celebrating the TECHNOLOchicas ambassadors in our latest campaign, TECHNOLOchicas 5.0, and we're super excited for you to meet them. As a Latina in tech myself, TECHNOLOchicas is an initiative close to my heart. But let's hear more about why TECHNOLOchicas is needed from the people who make it possible. And so we're going to start with our wonderful president and CTO, Nery.
Thank you, Yvonne. As Yvonne said, my name is Terry Hogan, and I'm the president and CTO at NCWIT. And I'm a technologist too, with a degree in computer science. I worked for more than 20 years in information security, network engineering, and technology intelligence teams. And today I am incredibly proud to be a part of this wonderful event. NCWIT is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 2004 with a grant from the National Science Foundation. And our mission is to increase the meaningful and influential participation of women, genderqueer, and non-binary people across all intersecting identities in the field of computing. As you know, computing is one of the most powerful and influential fields shaping society today, yet women are severely underrepresented, significantly impeding their power and influence as innovators, leaders, and researchers in shaping the future. We at NCWIT are dedicated to making sure all voices can be heard, and TECHNOLOchicas is a critical part of this work. I am thrilled to be a part of this launch event today, where we are highlighting these incredible technologists. A huge thank you also to our sponsors, Qualcomm, AT&T, Microsoft, and Apple for the continued support of this important initiative. And now I'd like to welcome Valentina Delgado from the Televisa Foundation. Valentina?
Hi, Terry. Thank you. Thank you so much to talk to us, and thank you, Yvonne. And yes, we're very proud that you are our partners in this, and already the fifth campaign that we are doing together. It's really such an honor to work with you. Well, as Terry mentioned, my name is Valentina Delgado. I am the leader of TECHNOLOchicas in Televisa Foundation. Our foundation, in collaboration with local organizations, we offer workshops and site visits to women and to girls in the Latinx community to allow hands-on exploration in the STEM fields and in-person experience with women in STEM careers. We strongly believe that the Latinx community should have more possibilities to dream about what they can become in areas of study that can reverse situations of poverty and be granted skills and knowledge that enable them to contribute to a more economically sound and diverse country. The program has taken place in New York, in Boston, in San Antonio, in Houston, Phoenix, and in Los Angeles, and has introduced approximately 200 Latina girls to the professional world of science, technology, engineering, and math. And why is this important? Why are we doing this? Well, because science and technology is the leading sector in creating the solution that right now we're facing as humanity. Those all voices need to be heard. and TECHNOLOchicas is part of that effort. So thank you for being here and thank you for being our ambassadors. And now we will show you the trailer of this year's campaign, where we're gonna see the TECHNOLOchicas highlight. And in this trailer, we can see all of the TECHNOLOchicas, but just a little note, the individual videos to the families, to the girls, and to the professors are going to be available in our webpage and social media by the end of this month. So please be tuned. And yes, so now we will see the trailer.
I would describe technology as fun, challenging, innovative, and different.
What led me to a career in computer science was basically that internship where I was able to see that I could, from a very small place, create this mobile app and impact a lot of people.
I worked in Seattle, but I live in Puerto Rico, so I'm a remote worker. It's important for us to know the perks and the benefits that a technology career gives us. They don't care about where you're sitting right now, they just care about the work that you do and what you know. So it's important for you to know that there is a lot of opportunities within the technology career. No matter where you are in the globe, there is a spot for you.
You can have it all. You can have a career, you can have a family, you can have hobbies, you can live on a farm and be a software engineer. You can have it all.
For me, technology and engineering was that door that for me opened this world of opportunities where I had the chance to go to other countries around the world. What matters is finding that one place where you feel in your gut that you can be your authentic self.
I wanted to be a TECHNOLOchica because I love helping others and I like having a positive impact in people's lives. And through this program, I'm able to do that for Latino girls in the community.
When I found out about this, I was going through a point where I didn't know if I wanted to continue studying computer science, but their words of encouragement and really inspired me to be more empowered. That helped me see that it's possible and that I shouldn't give up.
You are needed. We need diversity in technology. We need more girls in technology. And what they bring to the table serves all of us. In order for technology to work for everyone, everyone needs to participate in building it. And that includes all types of everyone.
It doesn't matter what your story is.
In technology, there is a place for you.
I am Latina and I love technology.
Aren't our TECHNOLOchicas Ambassadors amazing? And so like Terry mentioned, TECHNOLOchicas could not be possible without the support of our sponsors. And today with us, we have actually Monica from AT&T and Brian from Qualcomm to share a few words. Welcome,
Hi.
Monica.
Thank you, Yvonne. So my name is Monica Gibbs, and I am with AT&T. I'm the president of our Hispanic Employee Resource Group. Its name is Hacemos. And so we work with the TECHNOLOchica Ambassador to, host these different events on campus, on our AT&T campuses. So I'm really excited to be here and to just continue this partnership. We have been with NC WIT, a partner with NC WIT since 2009, and since 2017 with TECHNOLOchica, I've had the opportunity to volunteer at these events. And it's just, AT&T is a technology company, and what we're looking for is that diversity, bringing new faces in. And for us, it's so important to have, Latina representation. So as a ERG group, we are always looking to bring technology and students together and finding that connection. But more than anything, it's just so important for us to see, young Latinas interested in something that's different, and being able to have that one-on-one experience with these ambassadors, being able to have a conversation with them and talk to them and just hear their new ideas. It's really impactful to us as a company to be able to have this program and just to be a partner and support. So thank you so much for having us. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here for the launch.
Thank you so much again, Monica. And now, Brian from Qualcomm.
Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. So thanks for the invitation. I'm honored to be here. My name is Brian Felix de la Cerda, and I'm a test technician at Qualcomm, working for the Windows team. We work for different devices. One of those might be the Surface Pro. You might have heard of it or seen it in a store that you visit. I've been working at Qualcomm for 2.5 years, and this is my first job in the USA. So I'm from Tijuana, Mexico. I lived there my whole life, and this is the first time I moved here and experienced what it's like in the United States. I recently joined the community outreach and talent acquisition team at Qualcomm, so I want to work more closely with the Latino community and try to reach out those parts of San Diego that Qualcomm hasn't reached yet and see what I can do in this position. We are excited to partner with NCWIT and TECHNOLOchicas because their mission aligns with our values and because there is a disproportionate need for more Latinas in STEM careers. Qualcomm is a company of inventors in diverse skills and backgrounds that are committed to building a pipeline with diverse talent, and with our groups of LatinQ, Equality, Cubic, and other such programs. Qualcomm employees invent a lot of different things on technologies that we use in our daily lives, such as the phones, wearables, 5G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, audio, and other such technologies that you may not know Qualcomm makes those, but you're actually using them. So it's pretty interesting with that. A little bit more about me. I'm 24 years old. I studied computer science, and after graduating, as I mentioned, this is my first job. So I'm still growing and learning all the stuff that from other engineers, which is pretty interesting. I also got my citizenship this week, so I'm still continuing this career path for my family, as none of them had graduated from high school or university. So I'm still learning, and thanks to people in my university and now at Qualcomm, they have guided me through the path that is best for engineering. Thanks.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for sharing that and for being here with us today. And now we are going to meet the TECHNOLOchicas Ambassadors, Latina leaders in technology, showing the world that tech is for chicas. I want to invite the audience to share their questions in the Q&A panel. We will be checking, and hopefully we'll be able to get through everybody's questions. And so Josephine Vazquez-Rivera is the Director of Technology at AT&T. She leads several cybersecurity teams, including ethical hackers, which keeps users and systems safe. Josie, welcome. So I'm very curious to know, because we saw in the video that you live in a farm. And I know at some point when we were talking and filming the videos, you were talking about having a farm that was highly technological. So technology is definitely something super important for you. But I want to know, what is a challenge that we have today that technology is helping us overcome?
Well, there are a lot of problems. First of all, thank you so much to be here. I'm very excited to participate as a TECHNOLOchica. I can very candidly say this is probably one of my most honored and warm career recognitions. So thank you so much for having me. And I'm very aligned with the mission behind TECHNOLOchica and our partners. So technology is solving many problems. But, you know, top of mind, and obviously because you all know I love my planet and also rural life, that, you know, helping preserve our planet, right? Like I can't even imagine any industry that won't be transformed significantly, you know, either right now or in the coming years as it relates to technology. Emerging technologies. When I think about the medical field and the application of artificial intelligence, like the power of having millions of doctors review your results versus a single one, right? That's the value that the AI could provide if you apply, image recognition and all, fun opportunities that a lot of entrepreneurs and startups are exploring. So very exciting forefront, which is why technology careers are a great opportunity for you to drive the future. And we need women in technology. So we're very excited to have all of our attendees join us.
Thank you, Josie. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Now it is my honor. Also, I wanted to tell the ambassadors, like, we're going to present you. Please leave your camera on so we can, see you always. And before I introduce Nery, also like a shout out to the audience. If you have any questions, please write them down, and also we can mix them with our questions. So Nery, Lara Mancia, as a girl, she didn't believe that college was an option. Today, she's a software engineer at Qualcomm. She graduated from UC Santa Barbara with a major in computer science and completed an internship at the Air Force Research Laboratory. Nery, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being an ambassador. What I would like to ask you, and also for share with us and for the audience, is why did you want to be part of TECHNOLOchicas?
So I wanted to be part of TECHNOLOchicas because when I first heard about what TECHNOLOchicas was and their overall mission, I think it ties to my values and what I want to accomplish in life. So ever since I was little, I've always been open to help people that need help, or like if there's a way for me to give back to my community. And based off my experience, because growing up, I kind of had, like, my parents were very supportive, but growing up, I was the oldest one, and my parents are like, they immigrated from El Salvador. So growing up, a lot of the things that I was trying and I was doing, it was like my first time doing these things, like going through like middle school, high school, and applying to college. Everything was a first for me, and I had to kind of be on the lookout for resources and clubs in high school that would kind of provide guidance when it came to choosing majors or applying to college, as well as kind of figuring out what I would like, what my interests were, and if I wanted to be an engineer and what it entailed. So I like when I can, I like being able to like help and share all of the things that I learned as I was kind of exploring like the whole process by myself. So so I like helping others, and I like having a positive impact in people's lives, kind of just like I said in the trailer. And through this program, I'm able to do that to like with girls that kind of remind me of myself when I was younger.
Thank you for sharing that, Nery. I do remember when we were filming your videos, you were talking to us about how you were in TECHNOLOchicas and technology so that you could help others. So thank you for doing that. Laura Robles works as an IT analyst at Caterpillar. As a young Latina, she moved with her family from Mexico to Arizona. In 2021, she graduated from the University of Arizona with a degree in cyber operations, forensics, and defense. Welcome, Laura, and thank you for being here with us. So when we were filming your videos, I remember very clearly you were telling us about how you got interested in technology. And so thinking about your own experience, what advice would you give a student who is considering following a career in technology?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. And yes, I remember it wasn't too long ago, but it was in high school. I never really thought I could do technology. It was just never in my mind. And if it came across, I just never thought that would be an option. But in high school, I had the opportunity to join different clubs and try different elective courses. And there was one that I didn't try or even look at or give the opportunity, and that was an information technology course. And I was like going into the class, I'll see what it is. And after that one class, I really liked it. It was very fun and interesting, and a lot of new things that I didn't know existed. You use your laptop and you just click buttons, but there I saw how those buttons are created and how that website is built, and also learning how the internet works and how a computer works. And that got me interested into wanting to learn more about that. And so I went on and took another course after that. And that's how I decided I wanted to pursue computer science or a technology degree, by taking those classes. And then looking up online, like Googling what majors I could do. And most of them were computer science, and looking at the classes that I had to take or what kind of skills I would learn in that field to eventually go into the workplace and figure out these jobs that I had never heard of before, like software engineering, software developer. Like those words never came to my mind when I was younger, but after taking those courses and looking online, it really helped me get an overview of what I was going to get into. And that's how I got interested. And so my advice would be to try new things, even though you think that that class is not for you, or, oh, I'm never going to get interested in that. If you try it, you'll never know, because I went into information technology course not knowing what I was getting into, and learning about websites and how the computer works got me interested and wanting to learn more about that. So trying new things. And even if you don't have those classes, joining clubs, and if that's not an option, also going online and looking at computer like programming classes. A lot of them are free. There's a lot of free resources that you can use, to learn and get into this field. And if you choose to study this, there's a lot of job opportunities as well.
Thank you, Laura. It's a great advice to try new things, and it is true, no, that maybe we don't know what the possibilities are. That's why it is very important for you guys to tell us your story. So thank you for that. Now I want to introduce Melinda. Melinda Vargas Ramos, born in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, is a business and systems analyst at AAA Salud. From research mentor to software developer, she's done a lot, including building an app to reduce hazards. Melinda, thank you so much for being with us. So tell us, what is your favorite thing about having a career in technology? And was there like any time that you thought that a career in technology was not for you?
Well, thank you, Valentina, for that intro, and thank you all for being here as well among these wonderful and gorgeous women. It's an honor. So my favorite part about technology, I would say that it was how from a very small place you can impact a lot of people. I remember from the first time that I ever touched code, it was at UCLA at an internship, and I didn't know how to code, but they did teach us that there. I was going to 12th grade then, and I hadn't been exposed really to full coding. So there was some like fear in me in the beginning, but then it was like, oh wait, I actually have a phone and I have an app there that I've created amongst other peers, and it was super nice. But then later on, after I did go to college and did pursue the career in computer mathematics, which still has coding in it, I did it was a scholarship/internship at Puerto Rico, and there I was able to do it with an accounting system. And it was like, okay, I'm the intern that works there. Then they didn't teach it. It was like you're full hands-on on a job. And like 6 months later, they offered me another internship there before I graduated. They were like prepping me to like for the full-time job. And all of a sudden I come back and I see, wait a minute, this is no longer like the fun app that I did during the summertime. Now this is in all like different counties and municipalities are using it for their accounting systems. And that was like, whoa. Now it felt different. Like it hit different because it was like, okay, I haven't even graduated. And I know for a fact that people are being able to reconcile their accounts through something that I helped in. Because at the time I wasn't thinking that I was doing something that would be full production and that I was being gonna get utilized in that way because I had done internships before in a different matter. So I must say that it's very rewarding when you do see that what you do is gonna get used on a daily basis, that it does have an impact in like how people get their paycheck, how they do contracts, how they manage their warehouses, their reconciliation management. And it's like, whoa. How did I just like form part of this huge thing? So I think that that's like the most rewarding thing, the power to create something that is useful and that later on you don't really know how many hands will be on it. Like the amount of users, it's crazy. So I love it. That's, I guess, is the aspect that to me is the most mind-blowing.
Wow, what a wonderful story, Melinda. Thank you for sharing it with us. Definitely, I think a lot of us agree that one of the best aspects of being in technology is to have the power to create something that can positively affect the lives of many others. Melissa Delgado-Martinez is an engineering program manager at Microsoft with the cybersecurity team, but she is also a cyber hygiene specialist and privacy specialist. And she is writing a book in Spanish as a resource for those who want to learn more about this field. So Melissa, it seems like helping others come into this field and have the tools is very important for you.
Yes.
So what advice will you give teachers and parents to support or to motivate or encourage a student who is thinking about following a career in technology?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. And for those who cannot see me, I'm a Latina with brown hair. And today I'm using big earrings. So thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I think it is very important for us to know, and not only the teachers, but also the parents, that a career in technology is not only about perhaps coding or robotics. Sometimes we used to talk about that a lot, but STEAM has other letters in it. It has arts, it has mathematics, it has science as well, which is pretty much my background when I was in college. And it is important for them to start a conversation. For teachers, bring females and bring Latinas to the classroom. Make sure that they have role models, that they see the scientists that are not only males or not only American, or they're not only from one specific geolocation, but they can definitely see themselves with the diversity that is spoken within the classroom. So that for the teachers is super important. Also encouraging the kids, Latinas, Latinx, the community, to ensure that they have opportunities with nonprofit organizations such as this ones that we're talking about right now, and ensure that they're not only focusing on just one thing, just to follow their passion, to be able to merge their passion with the career that they would like. Because it is important to know that not necessarily the careers from today will be the careers from tomorrow. And the careers from today were not even the careers of 5 years ago. So make sure that they don't even think outside the box. Let them think like there is no box. So it's super important for them, and technology will have that for them. In my case, I saw a need in my Spanish-speaking community where cybersecurity was such a technical environment and usually everything was in English. When I started to read cybersecurity documentation or perhaps audience addressed information, it was too technical. Even for me. I mean, I was in the cybersecurity business, but I said, okay, if I'm reading this as a regular mom and pop or a grandma, I will not be able to translate what is it important for me. What should I be doing with my devices, with my information, with my online interactions? How could I even translate that to a kid that pretty much they're interacting 9 hours a day right now? So it was more than a role. It was a commitment for myself and my community that everybody will have the same opportunity to understand what cybersecurity is. And yes, and actually the book is finished. So so I finished the book and it's published. So it's important for me, for my community and Spanish speaking community, know what cybersecurity is and the basic stuff of how being secure in life without being panicky about it.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you for that. It is true that cybersecurity and in general, like the tech sector, sometimes it might be too technical, right? But it's also about being innovative. It's also about being creative, right? So yes, thank you for sharing that with us. So now I'm going to introduce Ruth. So Ruth Vela is the Director of Global Technology Experience at Nextiva. Before that, she led the international expansion of a Mexican telecom startup. And now she's in Phoenix, leading programs to engage global engineering teams. Ruth, thank you so much for being here with us today. So I wanted to ask you, so one, how do you keep your technology skills up to date? There's a lot of things going on, like a lot of research, everything is changing. So how do you keep these skills up to date? And also, I mean, another question that is also connected is, what kind of, like, if you can give us some examples, like what kind of real world problems you see that technology can help us tackle?
Thank you. I'm just typing the questions because sometimes I forget. So
I can repeat it.
Yeah, so the first one about my technical skills. So I have to confess that today, although I work in our technical organization, my job is to engage remote engineering teams. I don't have, as many, I don't have the technical day-to-day job of going and be an ethical hacker doing, cybersecurity or creating an app. But what I do have to have is I do have to be able to have technical conversations with our engineers, with our VP of product, with our CTO, and then also be able to take those conversations and bridge the gap between our technology organization and marketing and sales and other sides of the business, as well as the outside world, right? Like the community outreach. So how do I go about it? I have to confess that I spend a lot of time in, well, not a lot of time, but I spend sufficient amounts of time in social media. Like, for example, Twitter, and I know that everybody might be, thinking about Twitter, but it is important that you know who to follow. Turns out that I've realized in the past, maybe 2 years, that Twitter is one of the best, for me, one of the best social media places to really know what's going on if you know who to follow. Like sometimes I know news before it makes it to the news. And maybe it's, an hour delay. It's nothing like that. But you know that technologists tend to want to have the scoop first. So I would say that, and so then that starts with taking you to another path, which is then you go into blog posts, and then you start learning about this. Like I follow, for example, this engineering manager based in the Netherlands that talk a lot about engineering teams in Europe and best practices and stuff like that. And then once you're doing that, then you see that they are, they're sharing a video in YouTube where you can actually learn about some technical stuff. Then because of the company that I work for, I have access to certain e-learning tools that are technical. So then if I hear, I'm reading the blog post and then they mention something, I don't know, about natural language processing or something specific that, like, for example, decoders and encoders in artificial intelligence, which I learned just recently. Then I go and then I try to find a course in the e-learning tool. And so I have to confess that I am the type of person that just jumps from one thing to the other. And in my case, it makes sense. Like, I become kind of like a generalist. There are other cases where being a generalist might not really help you, although I think that it gives you context, but you really need to be much more specific. So I would say that. And then the other thing is, in the company that I work for, we have these things called 10% Fridays, where we can use our Friday every 2 weeks to work on a personal project. And so what I do is that if I have an idea, like a product idea, I would reach out to one of our engineers and kind of like learn from that. One of those ideas, and I commented it in the other segment that we had, is natural language processing for Spanish speaking audios, right? Like, I was like, are we doing that? Like, I think that we're only doing English, and we're Mexican, like, we speak Spanish, and like, why can't we? And then it turns out that I was working with one of the researchers, and I learned that the model, it's the same model that works for both English and Spanish. It just has to do with the data set. So anyway, so it's also like the way that I learn is also like practical, tactical things, and then starting and going deep into that. And then other things that might not be technical, but that are going to help me, you know, be a better leader, communicator, and just kind of like keeping on the edge of the newness. And also, I would say, not also getting scared about certain words that are used in the media, like, you know, cryptocurrencies and NFTs and all these things, and just like, really, guys, come on, let's just like really understand technology, and anyway. So that's my case. So maybe not the most the best answer you were looking for, but the real one from me, at least. And the other question, you see, it's a good thing that I wrote it, real world problems. So in my case, or the thing that I work in, it has to do with communication, right? Like, how can we use technology to help people communicate better, or in this case, businesses really understand their customer? This is something that we're all, you know, going every day. We live this, right? Like, you go and you talk to, you know, like, I don't know, an airline, and your ticket got messed up, and then you call them, and then they're like, okay, call us back. And then you call back, and then you have to repeat your problem. And then they lose context of what is the communication that you want to have, what is the problem that you are trying to solve. And here you go, the human just repeating and repeating one time and after the other, when we actually have the technology to solve for it. And so that is one of the things that we do. That's where we use natural language processing. That's where we use transcription. Another thing that it's called sentiment analysis, where our technology tells, you know, a business owner, hey, Ruth is actually a really good customer, but she's pissed because you haven't answered the phone in the past 3 weeks, or the past week, or the past 3 hours, whatever the case is. And so then we give nudges to the people so that they can have better communication. And then the other thing is that as technologists, and you know, the world of apps, and what we expect out of people is that we expect someone like my mom, you know, who didn't grow up with all of this technology, to know how to use her iPhone and how to navigate, like with COVID, like how to navigate uploading all these records before taking a plane. It was madness for her. So the other thing is, how can we help communicate with computers, but in a natural way? So like how humans communicate, not like putting inputs, but just like speaking to the technology and then having it solve your problems. So that is another one. I can go into detail about this, but you know, the time is limited. So I hope that I answered the question.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. I really like that place where you will like talk to the computer and the computer will solve your problems.
Yeah.
I need one of those. But also, thank you for sharing that story about your project. That is such a wonderful example of why we need diversity in technology. Thank you, Ruth. And now, Zaida Hernandez is an aerospace engineer at NASA Johnson Space Center, where she provides support to the Artemis project. Zaida started as an intern at NASA and joined full-time in 2017. And recently, she started doing a new rotation with the OASIS team. But I'm gonna let her tell you a little bit more about that because I'm not super versed in aerospace engineering. And while you're talking about your experience, Zaida, I really want to know, did you have any misconceptions going into aerospace engineering and then working for NASA? And if so, what were these misconceptions and how did you get rid of them?
Hello, everybody. First of all, it's an honor to be here along all of these technologists, amazing Latinas. And thank you for sharing your evening with us, or I think it's evening for most people in the US. So I think I'll start off with the question about the misconceptions. So I think it depends, right, who you ask. There's different misconceptions about technology, and one can be that it's boring or that it's hard, or that it is like a boys' club and that it isn't a place for women. So I'm challenging us to think about those words differently. So instead of thinking that technology is hard, maybe think it's challenging, but challenging is fun because you're able to solve problems. Or that it's, instead of thinking that it's boring, you're thinking, well, it's an engineering design process, right? So instead of just being able to do something quickly, it could be boring because maybe it's repetitive because you're trying to make sure that you fully understand the system and you want to make sure that it's safe. And safety is a huge part of human space flight. So that's why it's something that's really good to emphasize. So I do work at NASA. I've been working there for a couple of years on the Artemis program. I work specifically on the Orion spacecraft. So that is the vehicle that will be taking humans back to the moon. And we have our first Artemis mission coming up next month. So it's a really exciting time. That's an uncrewed mission, but just like all of the technology that went into that, it's been over 50 years since we went to the moon, and we're going back to the moon. We're going to new locations on the moon that have never been explored. So of course you need technology to get to those places. You need technology to go further out in space. So the plans for the future are to go to Mars. We've never done that before, and we haven't been able to do that because we didn't have the technology necessary to get us there. So now you're going somewhere further, you're needing new technology, and it's really an amazing time in the space industry. We have a lot of commercial partners. So you have the main player, NASA, right, that we are working on Artemis program. We have the DART mission. If you saw on the news a few weeks ago, it's like the asteroid redirect mission. We have the commercial partners, SpaceX, Boeing, Blue Origin. They're all helping to expand what we can do with human exploration and robotic exploration. So we're working with all of these partners, and that's amazing because between those companies, they are also doing research and development and helping expand space technology. So now we're all working together, and you can see how the growth is going to be exponential because there's so many people interested in this sector, and it's just going to be so amazing. Like, I can't wait for the next couple of years. I did start a new role. I'm still doing my old role, which was working on thermal systems for the Orion spacecraft. So what does that mean? You have different systems. You have propulsion systems, you have electrical systems, you have thermal systems, and many other systems. On thermal systems, you're making sure that things are within their specified temperature limits to make sure they can survive in space. For my new role, I'm working as the assistant chief engineer for that Orion program. So I was really happy to accept that opportunity. So that's working now at a higher level. So before I was just focused on the thermal group, now I can see the technologies throughout all of the different subsystems. So now I'm looking at the avionics, now I'm looking at power, and being able to assist the chief engineer in his role of decision making and what needs to be done for future missions, future Artemis missions. So I think that covered both questions, but I'm just really excited to be at TECHNOLOCHICA and to share any knowledge that I may have with the viewers. Yeah, so that's all that I have.
Thank you, Zaida, so much. It is amazing how, yeah, I mean, we keep exploring and we keep finding these new things, and just it seems a bit infinite, but also, yeah, but also very, very exciting, and also very proud to have you in our family as a TECHNOLOchicas Ambassador. Thank you, Zaida. And well, Ali is not with us today, Ali Guarneros. But I mean, as I mentioned at the beginning, all of the individual videos of each of our TECHNOLOchicas are going to be available by the end of this month. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity to tell you about Ali. So Ali works in NASA Aerospace as an aerospace engineer. She grew up in Mexico. She told us, like, reading about space missions, it was her dream to be there. And well, and today she works on satellites and manages the Tipping Points program at the Space Technology Mission. So yes, keep in tune for the individual capsules. And I think we have special guests. So Yvonne, I te doy la palabra. I give you the word.
Sí, gracias, Valentina. Yes, we are waiting for a special guest. She's, this is like she's in class also, so she said she was gonna try and join it. So we still have time, so we're gonna wait for her. So in the meanwhile, I wanna again invite the audience to share any questions with us on the Q&A panel. Or yeah, we can continue definitely chatting with the TECHNOLOchicas. They're also wonderful. They all have such wonderful stories. They're so inspiring. I always tell them that if I wasn't in technology already, I will definitely go in technology after hearing their stories. And their videos are just the best. I can't wait for the general public to be able to access them. Is there something, Valentina, that you think we should ask the TECHNOLOchicas?
So I think something that the two questions that popped up at the previous launch, at the first one, was, you know, like, why we keep saying, you know, diversity, you know, but how can we all collectively join, you know, to actually make it real? Because of course, like, our messages is for young women, for women, but like we work with support networks, no support systems. So how can we all make this a reality? You know, like, make it more diverse? Because at the end, and also we talked about it at the beginning, there are so many things involved, you know, in technology. There's like ethics in AI. There's like, you know, to whom are we making the solutions? Are they for all, or are they all? Or only for some, you know? So yes, I mean, if anyone wants to hop in or have any thoughts on that, please. You can share your hand, or you can just put on your microphone.
Can you repeat the question, Valentina?
Yes, of course. How can we all collectively push diversity in technology in the sector?
Yeah, I think that it is important for us to understand what diversity and inclusion also means in each environment. So it's not for this kind of level of conversation, because we are talking with usually a more younger audience. Diversity and inclusion is not only making sure that everybody is invited to the party, but they are also be able to dance. So it's not only to be there and just make sure that they have a presence, but they also have a say and they also have their voice be heard. Everybody here, I guess that we're part of the Latino Geo, but there's so many things that we could definitely do, not only incorporate different kinds of diversity in terms of race, but also backgrounds, weight of thoughts, perspectives. That is also included in a diversity. Making sure that we are mindful that every time we are in conversations that everybody has a space and everybody has a time to speak, as well, that if we have invited everybody in each perspective and we had the opportunity for them to be heard, and at least make sure that we have decisions based on everybody's input. That is also diverse. And in our reality that we see right now, it is important that we see different faces. As I said before, please make sure if you're seeing this and you're a teacher, bring other people to the classroom. Make sure that you're teaching not only one side of an angle of a scientific culture or technology culture, make sure that you bring everybody in. If you're a parent, make sure that those conversations are being done. And if you are young, make sure that you not only go into one source, but make sure that you get feed from other sources as well. This is the time of technology and you have resources in your hands that previously we didn't have. So make sure that you leverage those correctly and be fruitful to what you want in the future.
Thank you for sharing that, Melissa. While we have you on the spotlight and we're talking about diversity, I want to ask you about this thing that you did where you describe yourself. Can you tell us more about that?
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm a full advocate of a diverse and inclusive environment. And one of those things is also make sure that we are mindful of accessibility, not only for the folks that perhaps cannot hear us or see us, but it's always important when you introduce yourself, make sure that the people that might not have the chance to see you in full on colors, or perhaps is not able to see you, that you have this space to just describe how you look and have that deeper connection that only a voice will do. So yes, moving forward, if you have that mindfulness to describe yourself when you have these types of engagements, it's better for people that might not have the benefits of being able to see you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Sorry, Yvonne. I think we have a question from the audience. So whoever wants to answer, you can raise your hand or just put your microphone on. So from the audience, would you recommend following a research-focused career, master, PhD, or go into the industry directly after college? Yes, Melinda.
Hello there. Well, I think that there are multiple angles to answer this, and it's going to really depend on what your current situation is, right? So the way that I used to think was I wanted to be super, super prepared before I started my career, and I wanted to know everything. Then I saw that it's a matter of knowing the base of a lot of things, and then you'll be able to translate that onto the job that you take. So let's say an example, when it comes to coding, they'll probably teach you a language or two. And then when you go into the actual work industry, you're going to see that you're not going to program in either one of those two. And you just, with that base, you will be able to translate what you know of all the concepts, and you'll still get the job done, and you'll get to continuously learn on that. So with that example, what I'm trying to say is if the reason why you'd like to continue the studies is just to know as much as you can, that's relative. It's relative to how you learn, because you might learn like at a classroom, or you might be just an individual learner. Like there are different angles to that. And the other thing that I did want to bring up with that is giving yourself also the opportunity of taking these like side courses or certifications in particular subjects. I think that will add continuous value to your studies, but also to your what's it called, your la especialidad. When you specialize in something, that's where you will be adding value. So I want to bring a little bit of everything of what the possibilities are, and maybe not like the linear path of like, I need to study, I need to do it this way, I need to reach like the maximum degree here in order to get in with like a decent salary, or to be best set up, or to be taken seriously. Like in technology, that's not necessarily the way, but if that is your choosing, go for it. And the other thing is also, it depends on the your income or your family's income. Then there are other opportunities, like there are scholarships. I, for one, was one that I started at a private college because I got a scholarship there. Otherwise, I would have not have been able to do that type of studies. Then I transferred over to a public system, but I still had a scholarship. So to me, like that was a subject that was very close to my heart. And even though my mom was like, whatever, her words were always, sé lo mejor que tú seas, like no matter what you choose, just be the best at it that you can be. Not meaning that be the competitive one that you need to be top of the class, but meaning that just if you like to assemble like mouses and this is what you're, go for it, study it, and be the best at making mouses. You know, like that was what she would say. And so realistically, just do your path, but look for all these options. And since we're Latin, trust me, we have an advantage to getting scholarships here, scholarships there. If you're a woman, you have, and if you're this and that, just look for all those opportunities. Don't let that stop you. Because even though that was something that might have stopped me, I was like, nope, I'm going for it. Oh, I'm going to apply here. What's the worst that can happen? I won't get in, but what if I do? Look at us now, you know, like, so it's to go for it. Whatever it is, there's no real correct or wrong answer to this. It's more of you do you.
Thank you. Josie, do you want to follow up, please?
I do. I just want to chime in and say that, you know, as Melinda said, there's no single path in career, right? There's no single way to make it into your technology career. I started as a call center rep at AT&T while I was studying, and going to college. But I've always loved technology. My dad was the type of person that would take us to Kennedy Space Center instead of going to Disney. Now, back then, I didn't like that as much, but obviously that grew, that grew that love in technology. And then I was excited to go to, Kennedy Space Center. I was inspired by how the technology that helped us, get to space and, get to the moon was, being used in our home. Like you never even imagine the type of technology or where the source of that technology is. So lots of interesting history. But long story short, there's no perfect or exact way to get into technology. Just follow your passions, right? That's the right path. Follow what sparks joy in you. Follow what sparks curiosity in you. And, you're never going to go wrong if you follow that North Star.
Thank you, Josie. Melissa, please.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm always hesitant when somebody asks, what do you recommend? I usually recommend recipes, but in terms of career path, I am a little bit hesitant about that because there's no choice. There are so many options. And whenever somebody says or one or the other, I always am a little bit rebel in that sense. And I say, why do I have to choose? Can I do both? Can I start in the industry after college because I really want to have the look and feel? And while I'm doing that, it could spark you opportunities. Like Melinda said, it will spark you the opportunities that your own employer will be taking the bill for actually your master's and your PhD. So don't focus on the last end of the story. Make sure that you build your journey and ensure that that journey is worth traveling it, because sometimes you are working so much for a master or PhD. I have a master's myself. My sister has a PhD, but she learned, and myself as well, that sometimes peers that we had at the end of the road when they went into the industry that was not necessarily what they wanted, but that's what they thought they wanted. So in the meantime, I believe that if it's something that you could do, that you can test the waters, you could definitely go to the industry, but it's not that you have to shy away from your dreams of a master's degree or a PhD. You can have both, and technology will give it to you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Melissa. Yes, in my experience, technology is a field that lets you go back and forth with different things that you want to do. But now we have a very special guest. We're so excited. We have one of our students, maybe a future TECHNOLOchica, and she is here today to ask a question of our TECHNOLOchica ambassadors. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So welcome, Shayla.
Yeah, hi everyone. Hopefully you guys are doing awesome right now. But yeah, I guess to introduce myself, my name is Chayla. Right now, I was a NC WET aspirations in computation winner this past year. And I guess to give a little info about myself, I like technology. I'm Mexican American. My mom and my dad, they're both from Mexico, so from Zacatecas. So yeah, my question was, I just wanted to ask, I guess from your experience, how do you form connections? How do you build a network and talk to people and get to know them and make life, not make just a small connection, but make a lifelong connection and learn from someone and learn from their own experience. I guess anyone's open to answer.
Okay, I can go first, and Josephine, I think that you also raised your hand, so I'm gonna be super quick. So Shayla, thank you for coming in and thank you for that question. In my case, that's a very nice question that you just asked, because first and foremost, most of the people are asking about skills that are more technical. But in your case, you're asking the right question, which is the soft skills. Those are the things that usually in the school and university, they don't teach much about that and they don't show you. Building relationships is the key to moving from one place to the other. Building upon relationships and maintaining it is actually what will get you to your next, because what got you there pretty much is your technical savvy, but what will carry you forward will be pretty much your soft skills. In my experience, nobody cares about how much I know until they know how much I care. And that's not a quote from me, that's from Roosevelt. And I take it to heart. And that's true. When you have a human connection and people know that you care for them, that you have something in common, that you could definitely leverage each other and push yourself and push each other up, then that's how you build relationships, by caring first, making sure that you have a connection on a humane level. Sometimes the connections are just what I need from you, what can you teach me, and what can I teach you? But sometimes the connection should be a little bit more than what you can get from me or what I can get from you. It's just having that little 30 seconds and say, good morning, good afternoon, how's your family? Oh, you told me that your kid had a birthday the other day. Oh, yeah, I know that you love coffee. And the other day I was in a shop and I was thinking about you. Those little things make a super huge impact, even if it's technology or not technology. For anybody who's hearing, it's life savvy. So my recommendation is make sure that you are connecting in a humane level. And then when you want to build your community, ensure that you are reaching out to a community that can empower you, that can definitely make sure that you are around people that are committed to maximize your potential, people that knows the path that you want to take and are supporting you. Those are the people that will show you the path for other people that come in, and then you can grow your spot. But if I have to do a one-liner, would be build upon relationships, make sure that the people that you are maximize your potential in any way and are committed to your success. And third, always reach out to the communities that will give you enough for you to go to your next level. Josephine.
Beautifully said, Melissa. I'll just add a few, like double click into the building relationships piece, because you're so right. The basis of all business is relationships. Technology business, agriculture business, any business, the basis of all successful businesses are the ones that can build successful partnerships and successful relationships. So how you as a future technologist can build relationships? Well, you speak your truth with kindness. You always look for a win-win. That way you gain a partner and it's not just a one-time interaction. You're authentic and you're memorable, because when you bring your authentic self to work, right, as Latinas especially, we have to bring our authentic, self to work and represent, right? Because that's what we're here to do, so we can inspire others to bring other girls along too, and build your personal brand. Everyone knows that has worked with me is I'm gonna always look for a win-win when I work with a partner. And I've already built a reputation as a technologist within my community, within AT&T and in the industry as well. So definitely have a personal brand and be intentional about how you represent yourself. Because that will ensure that you're memorable, because you're being intentional about it. And really important is to have healthy boundaries, good work-life balance. That's how you're going to build those important connections at work that will set you up for success. Great question, Zaida.
Thank you. Yvonne, Laura, please.
Yes, what I'm going to recommend is to join clubs. That's what helped me network a lot and find other people that had similar interests as me or were going through the same things. Like I joined a lot of clubs in college. One of them was Women in Computer Science. And when I felt alone and I would tell them like, oh, I feel like this, something about class, whether it was homework or something personal, they could help me overcome that and give me advice like, oh, you should do this or go talk to this professor. And having those conversations with those people really helped me make friends, but also learn how to navigate college and find opportunities, whether it was, they actually taught me about internships. I went to college like, oh, I'm just going to learn and graduate and then I'll find a job. But they actually told me like, no, you need to do your resume. You need to be going to career fairs. And that's how I learned how to navigate my journey in college and find a job for when I graduated. So go to clubs and talk to people in your classes too. Don't be afraid.
Thank you.
Zaida, please.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted to add, I loved all of the advice that was given. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. So I want to say that anybody can be part of your network. And most of the time you're not even looking for it. And it just happens. And you don't know when the person that right now is just a friend can become a mentor, or they might need you, or you might need them. I will say a personal story. One of my best mentors that I have a great relationship with now, I met her in the bathroom. We were waiting to use the bathroom, and then we just like started chatting, and then we just like started seeing each other in the hallway, saying hello, and started talking. And then I just asked her to be my mentor. And that's another part of just sometimes you can just cold ask a person like, hey, like I would really be interested in learning more about what you do. Now we have LinkedIn, now we have social media, now we have going back into the office. If you're doing internships, you can just ask people. And more times than not, people want to help you. And even if they don't have time, they will make time to help you. So that's my advice, just making sure that you're being open to making relationships, to being friendly. Everyone, I think, has bad days. So sometimes you might not be the friendliest, but just treating people with respect. And yeah, you would be amazed of like the possibilities of how quickly you can create those bonds and relationships.
Thank you, Zaida. Before the closing remarks, Ruth, please.
All right. So for me, everything that everybody says is fantastic. And as you can see, we all have also like we build upon the opinions of each other. But I would say, for example, I'm really bad at chit-chatting, like in the workplace. Like I'm not the type of person that is going to like ask you for like, how is your kid, you know? Like what? But that doesn't mean that there are not other ways to also build those relationships. And then you might be more, you might not be that type of person and you might find other ways. So the way that I say, or what I appreciate when other people want to build relationships with me as well, is that always have a consistent positive intent, right? And then establish credibility. And that is really simple. It's just like, do what you say and say what you do, right? If you're going to commit, like if you're asking, hey, can you be my mentor in the bathroom? Someone has to follow up, right? Like it's not only there. And then then you have to show up. Like if I say, yeah, I want to be your mentor, let's meet, you know, like at 4 p.m., like you also need to show up. So I think that that's also really important. And to build upon what everybody said, be bold. There is another thing that I say is also say what you want. And say what you need and say where you want to go. By saying and by being open and bringing your authentic self, what happens is that more people now know how they can help you. It doesn't mean that they are going to, but maybe one day they'll be like, oh, actually, this girl that I met, she said that she was interested in finding an internship at NASA. And I happen to work at NASA. Maybe I don't know, maybe I can help her because she showed up. She was bold and she seems really smart, you know? So like that would be my advice.
Thank you. I honestly, you guys are all amazing, and you guys just like being here is just so inspiring and amazing. I really appreciate all the advice. Thank you so much. You guys are strong, amazing, and honestly, awesome.
Thank you, Sheila. And thank you, everyone. I mean, yeah, exactly. To hear all these stories is why we do this. This is very, very powerful. And thank you all for being part of this campaign. And thank you for also creating the space. So we are here together supporting each other. Thank you.
And thank you, Valentina, for joining us today. I want to put Sheila, that was an absolutely fantastic question, and all the advice that the TECHNOLOchicas gave you was wonderful, because you are part of a really large network, right? Aspirations in computing. And so now you have all this wonderful advice that you can use to take advantage of that network. And so thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. We were so excited that you had a chance to meet the TECHNOLOchicas Ambassadors. Please follow us and like us on social media. If you search for TECHNOLOchicas, you will find us. And if you do that, you will stay up to date in all our news and events, and the individual videos for each TECHNOLOchica are going to come out soon, apparently at the end of next month. So keep an eye out for that. And see you at our next event, wherever that is. Thank you, everyone. Bye.